Time now, though, for our coffee chat. This morning, I've got Nandi Chabalala from our sports desk, and from our political desk, Faith Daniels wakes up early in the morning and joins us in studio. Good morning, ladies. You well?
Good morning.
Good morning. We're very well, thank you.
As well as can be expected. Hey? It's a new year.
It's a new year. Okay, you're still taking things a little
Trying
slow.
to find our feet, yeah.
Okay, nothing wrong with that. Let's start with the newspapers, as always, and go to the Star newspapers. And, of course, it's all about the matric results, starting with the IEB. And one of the headlines there you can see is IEB 2019 matrics fly high. Learners score a pass rate of 98.8%. Faith, it's just slightly lower than last year.
A fraction lower, but I mean, look, we're talking about just below 12,000 pupils who wrote the IEB exam, right? So later today, we're going to get the results of the National Senior Certificate, which is the public sector, right? And in comparison, you're going to have the results of more than 600,000 pupils, right? So, I mean, look, if you take it into comparison, there is actually no way that you can compare it. So it's still a good result, right? But what we are interested in is we want to know how our kids fared in the public sector.
Very true, because in the public sector, the worrying thing is always the dropout rate, isn't it? It's one of the key things.
That is it. And an interesting tweet that I saw from the Gauteng MEC, Panyaza Lesufi, last night, is that he said that when you track it back for the 12-year journey, what they found is that 77% of the kids who stayed in the system wrote the exam, which is quite good because, as we've seen in years previously, the dropout rate is quite significant at some stages. And I think the key for us is to keep the children in the system, to give them the quality education that they deserve and that they must have, so that there's equal footing for everybody. Because, I mean, in the South African sense, there's always going to be this thing about the haves and the have-nots, right? Even in the public system. So you have the IEB exam results coming out today. Really, really good, excellent. I mean, but we didn't expect anything less, because that is the quality that we do expect. That's the quality that parents pay for, right? So now the real test is the National Senior Certificate, the public sector exams results that we expect later in the day.
And Nandi, one of the key things has to be encouraging students to take on, scarce skills like the mathematics, maths, science, and all those subjects where we seem to wane a little bit when it comes to that.
It's so tricky, because I think over the years those have been the subjects that people have struggled with the most, and I think that is something that needs to be looked at. I mean, we've seen the system go from higher grade standard grade maths to maths lit, but not much improvement actually, because kids are still struggling with mathematics and science. So I think that is definitely an area that needs more attention, and maybe we need to start looking at why it is so difficult when they do so much better in the other subjects.
Let me tell you what the interesting thing is, that the quality assurer Umalusi said last week when they gave the green light for the results to be released. And I think it's for the 5th time in a row that I heard Professor John Formink say this about maths, that it's going nowhere, that there is no significant improvement.
Wow.
And for me, that is it signals the warning bells, right? Because you were talking about these subjects. It's called the gateway subjects. And if there's no significant movement in those subjects, right, are we really improving? And standing still is actually not a great thing. I mean, I think that, like, previously and over the weekend, we spoke about the reports coming out, spoke about the matric results hitting the 80% mark, right, for the National Senior Certificate exams today, which is a good thing. But what we need to drill down to is what it actually means and whether it is quality passes. You know?
Yep, we'll actually do that a little bit later. I'm sure we're going to be exploring all those factors throughout the day. Let's move on to another newspaper here, guys. The Mercury, of course, talking about the IEB matrics, but right on the right-hand side, the left-hand side, depending which way you look at it, paramedic temporarily blinded in Durban attack. This is about a KwaZulu-Natal Department of Health condemning those responsible for an attack on paramedics in Durban's and Tuzuma E section on Monday. I mean, this is...
Wow.
I don't understand this, Nandi. First of all, you know, paramedics are there to assist you, and you're attacking paramedics, and this has been happening throughout the country, not just in Durban.
Who attacked the paramedic, first of all? Have they found the person who's done the attack? Because that is absolutely insane, to attack somebody who is there to save lives and help people. Do they know who did it?
At the present moment, they don't at
Two
the
robbers,
moment.
I
Just
think.
two robbers. Yeah,
Okay.
one of the robbers sprayed a liquid believed to be petrol or brake fluid into the eyes of the ambulance emergency
Why?
assistants, and he was temporarily blinded.
But here's the thing that I found interesting from that article is the fact that it's not the first time, right? And the alarming thing that it raised, also the article raises, is the fact that paramedics previously asked to be armed when they go into hotspots.
Yeah.
Now that brings with it a different set of challenges that I don't think we are ready for.
Very true. When you have armed paramedics, something's very, very, very wrong. Guys, something a little bit brighter. Kaizer Chiefs, in terms of the newspapers, they, 25th anniversary. 50th anniversary.
50th anniversary. Kaizer Chiefs are celebrating their 50th anniversary. So they are the log leaders. They are coming off a loss to SuperSport United, a 2-1 loss over the weekend. But they're looking ahead to their next game against Highland Park, which is tomorrow. Fans can go to the F&B Stadium for free because of the 50th anniversary.
Yep.
And on top of fans being able to enter the stadiums for free, they've released a new kit specifically to celebrate the 50th anniversary. It's a limited edition kit. It's a black and gold kind of vibe. It's looking very nice. So they're hoping that it will, inspire a comeback after that loss. Highlands Park is a bit of a tricky team for Kaizer Chiefs, but they're very positive. 50th anniversary. It's a big club. A massive number of supporters, so that's something for Kaizer Chiefs fans to look forward
You
to.
can actually have a look at it on the Witness Sport. They've got a picture of the actual jersey itself as well. So 50th anniversary jersey for Kaizer Chiefs, and hopefully they can get back to winning ways as well. When you talk about the Beelt as well, the Dakar Rally, which is not in Dakar anymore, but it's still called the Dakar Rally.
It's still called the Dakar Rally.
But South Africa, de Villiers doing well.
Yes, when you said good news, lighter note, definitely South African Fernando de Villiers. I mean, he's always done well in the Dakar Rally. He has won it before. He won Stage 2. After finishing 14th in Stage 1 on Sunday, he's come back to win Stage 2, which is really impressive. Interesting, everybody's got also their eyes on Fernando Alonso, a 2-time Formula 1 champion. He finished, he didn't do so well because he lost a wheel. So on Sunday he finished 11th, but now he's 2.5 hours behind after losing a wheel. So he had his first really negative experience in his first Dakar Rally. But yeah, well done to Fernando de Villiers, and hopefully he'll continue on that impressive run.
I'm going to show off here a little bit because I've got a little story to tell about de Villiers.
Yeah.
We were racing once. It's a bit of a pastime thing. And his car overturned. We stopped our car, helped them back onto the four wheels, and we drove off, and then they overtook us and won the race.
Why are you helping the rival? I mean, this is you to blame for that.
It was actually ridiculous, but he's a fantastic driver.
You're a
as
lovely
well,
guy as well. Lovely human being,
a lovely person as well. And the Dakar Rally is still going strong as
in
well.
Saudi
still
Arabia
popular.
this time around.
Yeah, and still very popular in terms of racing around the world.
Yes, absolutely. Today's stage is Stage 3. It's just under 500 kilometers, and it's all happening in Neom in Saudi Arabia.
Okay, all right. So, guys, it's been interesting stuff. Thank you so much. We've got the IEB results out a little bit later on, Faith, like you said. The Minister Anjim Tsecha will the Minister of Basic Education is expected to announce the national matric results on Wednesday. That's tomorrow, not later on today. She'll give the average pass rate. Later today. That's today.
Later today.
Okay, and you
then
still think that is the key thing that
yes,
we have
on
to look out
Wednesday
for?
the individual results for provinces and schools will be released.
All right. Guys, thank you so much for joining me for the coffee chat. Nandi, as always, thanks for being with us, and Faith Daniels as well, coming from our news desk. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you. See you later.
It's a pleasure.